Still don't have that quite right. Guess that's a little bit better. Surprised I got such a shadow over here because I got a lamp right there. Anyways, Angel, of course, is up here. She's snoozing away on my bed. Today is January 2nd, 2022. Mm-hmm. And it's a cloudy, miserable day. We had, unbelievable weather yesterday. We did not experience any wind here. But yesterday morning early, there was a tornado warning in the area between Somerset and London. And we are about roughly about half an hour north of London. So it was good morning, Christy Bell. Or Christy Bates. Sorry about that, Bets. I had Bell on my mind from something else. Sorry about that. Yeah. Happy New Year. I tell you, it was quite the weather we had moved through here yesterday, wasn't it? I tell you, yesterday and the night before, I'll tell you, we had so much rain. My creek was running so hard. I don't remember ever seeing it running that hard. And my bridge that I had put in last year, it was almost underwater. The creek was running right up to it. There was no clearance between the water and the bridge. So I haven't been down there yet to check it out to see how solid it still is. It was pretty solid, but I didn't get it secured like I had wanted to early on. So, well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. So anyway, yeah, it was, I got a mess at the top of my driveway. There is a culvert that is running under the road that is blocked on the upper side. And because it's blocked, the water is running down and washing out my driveway. So I need to do something about that. I probably have to call the county tomorrow and see if they'll do anything about it, you know. But I mean, I was praying for my Kentucky friends. Yeah. Thank you. Much appreciated. I was checking with a few people in church this morning that I knew were in areas that were a little sketchy. And everybody was okay. You know, everybody was able to get out once the water receded. But, you know, most of us from downhill, but, you know, when you have to go downhill to get anywheres, you kind of end up being stuck. Hi, Heaven Bound Homestead. So, how did you make out with the weather? It was something, wasn't it? Oh man, so much rain came down. My rain gauge is broken, so I can't tell you how much rain we got. I had heard it was definitely over an inch, but we had a lot come down all at once. I can tell you, yeah, I can tell you that 3 out of the 4 IBC totes that I have here are full. Okay. The other one is, let me see here. It's at least half full. It might be a little bit better than half full, but it has it doesn't fill up from as much roof. So we did have quite a bit of rain because that one tote had like that much in it before it all started. So I'd say we probably got closer to 2 inches, if not more. Um, so I know that there was a few tornado warnings out there, but as I haven't heard. Oh, wait a second. There was. Oh, where was it? There was some place. Oh man, I can't think where it was now. Where there might. They weren't sure if it was. We were under a tornado watch in Alabama. Yes, but the worst was north of me. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Seems to be there was one area, and I can't remember now where it was. Where yes, Hopkinsville. Yes, that was the one. That last I heard. Now I haven't gotten an update lately, but last I heard they weren't sure if it was straight line or a tornado. So, but yeah, it got tore up. It could have been either or because of the storm system that was going through. It was nasty. I had the weather radio on. Wasn't too much else I could do yesterday because couldn't do anything outside. I did. It did clear up. I had a small window and I was able to trim a board. I'm building the the pump house, and it's going to be incorporated into the encasement that I'm making on the two totes that are stacked on each other. Um, so that's so I had to trim a board so I could put up the next piece of framework. And so I did get that done yesterday. I had to get my handsaw out to do that. Um, so, oh, it was definitely a tornado. Okay, they got a picture of it. Oh, wow, really? Do you know what the category was? See, I didn't get the whole. I was watching it briefly, but they don't necessarily repeat things just because I'm off doing things. So, um, yeah, I'm just wondering how. I mean, I'm not so sure that it just goes by size. I think it goes by intensity, how strong the winds are, and I don't know that size may not necessarily be the same as intensity. So, but do you know how wide of an area it affected? I'll have to see if I can get an update later. I missed the news last night. I was busy doing other things, so I missed it. But anyway, so pray for. I tell you, Kentucky's been hit hard this year. Or the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. I hope that this is not going to be continuing for 2022. It was big. Don't know the numbers. Okay. Um. Anyway. So what have I done? Um. I have wallboard up in my kitchen area now. They were very, very lucky. It came down for a few minutes and went back up. Oh, that's good. That's good. So not as much destruction. That's wonderful. Really bad people hit by tornado with a winter storm right behind it. Yeah, yeah. And I checked to see where the ice line was this morning. Um, and yeah, I think that the Hopkinsville, if I remember correctly, was right in that line of really cold ice. And so hopefully nobody was really severely injured. As far as last I heard, there was no real injuries, but of course destruction of homes, shelters. So hopefully people are going to be safe and warm. Um, so yeah. So anyway, I did get wallboard up. Now I would have had my kitchen probably completely done in the way of putting wallboard up, except I went to Lowe's to get a range hood, and they didn't have what I wanted in stock. So they had to order it. And of course, you know how quickly things come in. Well, it's supposed to be in on the 11th. Okay, so hopefully on the 11th, I get the range hood and then I can get it installed and I can finish putting the wallboard in my kitchen area. So from there, then I can build a shelf for the sink. and then I can start working on getting the sink installed. In the meantime, I am getting I shifted gear from inside to outside just in time for cold weather. Um, and I'm working on. I've got two sides on the the tote tanks, and I have tried to record this. It's been hit and miss with, you know, the camera is like the battery just seems to run out so quick, um, especially with, colder weather coming in now. But anyway, so I've been working on getting that enclosed and getting it insulated. Because we got cold weather coming in. I'm trying to get the pump house walled in and get a roof that I can sit on it. We are going from 80s yesterday to snow tonight. Yes, I had heard that. Um, my friend Dizzy's doings up in New Jersey. She was saying they're supposed to be getting snow tonight too. We're supposed to be getting flurries, nothing significant. So I did start the wood stove. For a whole week I didn't have the wood stove on, but I lit the wood stove when we came home from church so that I could turn the electric heater off. I mean, the electric heater is fine for when it's not really that cold out, like just to take chill out in the morning. But when it starts to get down into the 40s and below, then the wood stove is really where we need to have. So um, so anyway, yeah, that's burning, and I'm working on the pump house, um, and hopefully, weather permitting. Now, unfortunately, we trying to get this family of mine to my it says my connection is unstable. So hopefully, I don't know. Still showing up on my camera. Hopefully, it's not going to be a problem. Um, I don't know. Hopefully, it's still on. Am I still showing up, ladies? Um, I don't know. I can't tell. Um, anyway, I guess I'll just keep talking as if everything's fine. I don't know what else to do. So it went out and came back. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Um, could be this computer. I don't know. Uh, anyway, yeah. So um, we we have to go to town, and I mean, my family just can't not seem to understand that we need to limit our trips to town, okay? Because gas is going up. It did come down for a little bit, but I don't expect to stay down. And try and get everything that we need early on, so we're not making multiple trips into town. And sometimes they just don't get it, you know. So and it's like, look, I'm gonna have to go in on the 11th anyway to get my drainage hood. But no, we got to go in. So tomorrow, I think it's going to be colder than Tuesday. So I guess that's not going to be too bad. Um, so we'll go. We'll go in town tomorrow, and I don't know how much work I'm going to get done out here. It all depends on how long it takes for them to get done what they need to get done. I hear Sheba out there barking about something. Um, when I'm done here, I got to go and I got to get hay in the hay nets and hang them up in the goat barn so they have hay, because there's not a whole lot of browse these days. They're finding something, but not a whole lot. Cause they'll go out, but they're not out for very long before they come back in. And I put a bunch of hay in the wagon this morning so they could get to that. That was a little bit easier and faster than filling the hay nets. But I'll fill the hay nets when I'm done here. Um, speaking of goats, um, this is one of the issues I've been having is the amount of hay I'm going through. Now, granted, I have Chucky this year, and I got to keep him fed. Um, and my neighbor that I get the round bales from, he told my husband that he doesn't know how much longer he's going to be able to do hay because he's got black lung disease and his lungs have deteriorated some. So I'm going to sort out what I'm going to do, because generally what I get about 2 round bales a month from him. So if I can get, like, I just got one. Yes, it was yesterday. No, the day before. I got one on Friday, and so that'll last me about 2 weeks. So then I would need maybe in about another 4.5, 5 round bales, maybe 6, depending on if the grass starts growing early. Um, Boy, she's growling too. Or maybe that's a 4 wheeler I hear. I don't know. People out checking things out. Grandfather had that from the coal mines. Yes, yes, and that's what my neighbor has it from. He used to work in the coal mines. So, and he was doing really well, but he's had a couple of minor surgeries this last year, and I don't know. I really wonder if the anesthesia might mess with her lungs some. I don't know. But so he was honest with me, and I mean, I knew that the time was going to come, and he wouldn't be able to do hay anymore. And it's really a matter of convenience that I get hay from him. But I've also been getting square bales from somebody else, and I've got to check with them and find out if they will be able to supply all the hay that I need. But at the same time, I would need to get myself to where I'm not needing as much hay. I'd say November, I can still get away with not out using hay. December, January, and February are the worst ones. January and February is the worst. Um, it's possible things can start developing in March, growing, and it's possible I could still have browse in December. So January and February are my biggest needy months. But I've already been feeding hay to the goats and to Chucky, and to Honey, because I don't have the pasture just has not bounced back. So I'm looking at what I can plant that's good for the goats. Now, one thing I found was bamboo, um, but there's certain bamboo that is native to the area, and I don't have any bamboo on my property. I know that, um, but it is native to this area. And the article that I was reading, it was telling about planting stand. It's like it. People say it's invasive. Well, yes, it is, but then again, no, it's not. It all depends, um, and it's got its benefits and its drawbacks. One of the drawbacks is it takes a while. How much does hay cost now? Bales are 7 here. Um, I'm not sure what the going rate is right now. I paid $3.50 a bale for the first. Was it 3.50? I'm pretty sure it was 3.50 for the first 100 bales I got, and then I got another 50. But it was a grass clover mix, and that was he charged me $4 a bale for that. So if I buy it from a store, a farm store, it's going to cost me more, and I know that. Um, Bamboo grows great and fast in Kentucky, yeah, but it takes a while to establish a good stand. Um, and I mean, that's something I'm going to look at doing. I need to get some more information about it. I saved the articles I was reading um, on my computer, but I need to find out more about it. But I mean, it takes like 3 to 5 years to establish a good stand of bamboo. But it is good for the goats. That's a good price. Yeah, it was a good price. Now, what it's going for right now, I don't know. Call and find out. Uh, I figure I've got at least. I'm hoping I've got 50 bales in there. I'm not sure. I still have some up in the loft. I've been trying to get the loft down first, but at the same time, I'm I'm trying to not let it go to waste. And it's hard with goats, you know. I definitely need a better feeding system. Um, my hay nets were good for a little while. Will goats get sick if they eat too much clover? Seems I heard cows can. Um, I'm not sure on that one. But the hay that I have is a mix, and there's not a lot of clover in it. I can tell you right now, there's not a lot of clover. There is some. So I don't know that. I guess if you have too much of any one thing, it's not good. It's better for them to have a varied diet. So I mean, if I can supplement it with something else, now that the bill go into December with green leaves. So if I can get a good stand established without the goats wiping it out before it can get established, and maybe have a couple of different places where I establish a couple of good stands, then that will help. But I have to, look into it. I got to find a source first of all, because apparently it doesn't really grow very well from seed. You have to get the rhizomes. I guess their digestive systems are different a little bit. Um, they're very similar to cows in that they're ruminants, but just hearing the chicken and the dog. Um, but they do have some differences. And I'm not a cattle expert by any means, and I'm still learning with goats. So I hadn't heard that, if they have a lot of clover, it's not like a major source for them unless you have them on a pasture and not on browse. I'm trying to keep my goats on browse mostly. I don't want to rely on pasture. This is why I'm looking at what I can plant that makes a good browse, and bamboo is one. I bought some red clover seed to plant on the Tennessee land. Oh, okay. Yeah, a little bit of red clover, but you want to mix. You want to mix. The clover by itself, well, it's not really all that recommended. I mean, it's good. It's good to have clover in there, but you want a good mix. Now we have the Kentucky 31, which is a good grass. It does have some drawbacks in that it has was an endophyte in it that can be a problem for some cattle and also for pregnant mares. So, but there's another kind, what they call novel, uh, and I don't think they call it Kentucky 31. I think they call it Kentucky something else, um, and that doesn't have the endophyte in it. And they're trying to encourage people to plant that. But the thing is, it's very expensive as compared to the Kentucky 31. I have a mix of, what is it? It's rye. It's got a little bit of clover in it. And is it Kentucky 31 that's in there? No, orchard grass. Orchard grass. I got a mix of, it's got orchard grass and rye and a little bit of clover. And there might be some Kentucky 31 in there. But anyway, it's a pasture mix. And I had sowed some uh, back in October, but then we had the fast freeze right after that, and so anything that came up would have been killed off with the freeze because it didn't have enough time to get established. And so it was suggested that I plant it in February. My neighbors suggested I do that in February because he says that's when he's found that it's done it uh, propagates better. It germinates better and grows better if it's sown in February rather than October. So that's what I'm going to do. Like I said, I did scatter some, but most of it I have, and I'll be scattering it around in February. At least that's the plan, and then hopefully it'll grow pretty quick come March. If I can just keep the chickens and the ducks from eating the seed, that's the problem. So, But I'm also looking at, like I said, with browse for the goats. Okay, because bamboo, you know, takes such long to get established. I was looking at some other suggestions, and this is the kind of info I need. I worked for vets a lot of years, but not a lot of experience with farm animals except chickens. Yeah, yeah, and most of your vets aren't farm animal related, and some of them don't even really understand nutrition when it comes to goats. Okay, like the vet that I have here, he's a big cattle guy. Now he's good with goats. Okay, and he does come recommended when it comes to goats. So I complete confidence in using him, but but I'm still green at goats myself. So I may not ask the right questions. I may not know that there's a problem when there is a problem. I'm feeling my way still. Okay, so but I've been trying to focus on see a lot of people that have their goats on pasture. Okay, and yeah, you can do it, but when you have them on pasture, more so than on browse, that's when you start to develop more because the parasites live in damp ground on the grass. You know that they will wiggle their way or whatever onto the grass. Whereas on the browse, they're not up that high. So ideally, you want your goats to feed from chest high. Okay, so that's what I'm working on. I said, yeah, they've done a great job of clearing my brush, but if I'm going to stay in goats, I need to provide for them. So it was suggested that the winter squash was good. So I can, I'm thinking it will grow good here. I've got a couple places where I think I can sow it. And I mean, I like winter squash, but I'm not going to eat that much. So I'll just plant a bunch of winter squash so I can have it for the goats. And hopefully that'll offset some of the hay cost. Now I got to find out if that's just the squash itself or if they can eat the vines. So if they can eat the vines as well, hey, and maybe I can trellis it. We'll see, and maybe I can make like a hay out of the vines. I don't know. I have to explore that possibility. Um, so, and I'm looking into each thing that I found a website that had a list of plants, and that's where I got the idea for the bamboo, which is one thing, and then the winter squash, and seems to me there was a few other things. Well, there was blackberry and raspberry. Okay, well, that's a little bit more expensive to get started. I mean, I've got wild blackberry around here, plenty of it. Now, thing is, the goats will eventually wipe that out because they'll clear out all the new growth. So, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because I have so much of it, especially up the hill. So I'm hoping that they do clear that out. And I would like to have a blackberry stand that is for my use where I can get the berries because I do like blackberries. But I mean, blackberries and raspberries, the wild ones, it's not something that you can plant a lot of cheaply. So I'm looking for to be cost effective as well. Um, so I'm hoping I can get bamboo started without too much expense. The squash, yeah, okay, I think I can do that. I'm pretty sure I have some squash seeds, and I think I can get those pretty easy. If I had been a little bit more on the ball, I could have gotten some pumpkin seeds from everybody's pumpkins at Halloween time and planted them, but that's all right. So anyway, yeah, um, so that's what I'm looking at. Like I said, a lot of people they just put their goats on pasture, which is not ideal, and trying to dig up information for goats to propagate the browse because I really enjoy my goats and I really want to continue raising them. And like so many people have said that a lot of people get goats to control brush and then they do such a good job that they end up, you know, driving themselves out of a job basically. Well, that's not what I want to do. I mean, if I have to, I mean, I could go to sheep from goats, but I don't know. I kind of like my goats. you know. Um, and sheep are different than goats. As much as I really do like lamb, I enjoy lamb, but and maybe at some point, depending on how they clear the land, maybe I don't know, but that's down the road. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, so, but there's oh, who was it? I found somebody. They've got goats. I don't know how much land they have though, and I'm not sure if they have them. I think they've got some browsing areas for them. They might be like me, where they have a pasture where they can fence them in for their safety, but they still have some wooded areas with where browse is available for them. So as soon as I learn more about them, I might give them a shout out next time. Um, can you have a mix of sheep and goats? Is that what you're asking? Sheep and goats? Um, the thing is that sheep are um, they can't. You can mix them, but it's their dietary needs are slightly different. The sheep really, they can't have a lot of copper. They need a little copper, but not a lot. They get copper toxicity very easily. And the goats, they need the copper. You got to really be on top of the copper. And I have done the. I don't shove a copper bolus down their throats, but what I do is I make up copper cookies. Okay, and I get the animal crackers and I put a little something on the cookie, and then I sprinkle the copper pieces from the bolus. I open the bolus up and I sprinkle that onto the cookies, and I'm handing the cookies out to the goats, so they're getting that extra copper. But also it's not calf manna, but it's like a calf manna. It's a little bit cheaper than calf manna, but it's got a higher percentage of copper in it. So I am giving them that along with their alfalfa. It's as a supplement, okay? Um, and also not letting them have the well water. They have rainwater. Because the wet water around here, I was getting ready to move in a neighbor's off-grid cabin so I could work on reclearing the land in Tennessee and move my tiny house when it dries out and the sea hit. Ah, yes. Yes. Hopefully this not sea nonsense is going to be coming to an end. I don't know. We'll see. That's another topic altogether. Um, yeah. That's affected a lot of people. Yeah. So anyway, I was talking about copper with the goats. Okay. In my area, okay, you're talking coal mining area. Okay. Um, it's normal to have sulfur water. And most wells around here have sulfur water. Well, what I found out is that the sulfur water restricts copper absorption. So you could allow your sheep, if you had sheep, to have the sulfur water. However, for goats, you don't want them to have that. So that's why I have the rainwater catchment system up. That's what feeds the stock tank. That's what feeds the water in the goat barn. That's what we will be using is primarily rainwater. The well, which is sulfur water, is a backup because better sulfur water than no water. I believe God is answering our prayers. Is this new virus is taking over the old ones? Yes. Comes with a sore throat and body aches for about 3 days. No chest fluid building up. Yes. Yes. You know what? I was just thinking that this morning when our pastor mentioned something about, so many people being infected with COVID. It's like, and maybe I should, it just wasn't the right time to say something, but it's like, I think God has provided a way out of it that is not man uh, dependent. In that he designed our immune system, okay, and unless we have screwed it up by not doing what we should be doing, okay, um, then our immune system, given the right material, will build up the antibodies and protect us, okay, and that's where this Omicron is. It's a lesser, but it gives your body a chance to build immunity, and it will protect you against the other variants. And this is what I'm getting from um, the European and South African information. Okay, you're not getting this in the United States. Okay, I don't know if you're getting it up in Canada. You're not, but I know in the United States you're not getting this information. Okay, but I've been listening to people from the UK and from South Africa, and they're saying that this is not that this variant is very mild. My son's better, but I'm still feeling yuck. I'm trying to keep moving, fight it. Yeah, you got a fine line there between fighting it, but also allowing your body the chance to do what it needs you through it. Um, I'm glad to hear that your son is better, and he's going to be better protected than these vaccines. These vaccines, they have a waning. That is, if they even, and if you even want to call them vaccines, they have a waning effectiveness. Okay, um, they don't. If they were effective at all, the effectiveness goes away, which is why they keep pushing all these booster shots. Okay, well, that's another story altogether. But with this Omicron, your body has a chance to build the immunities, and you're not going to be suffering as much illness wise. Okay, it's I think it's God's gift. I really do believe that Omicron is God's gift. Um, so, we don't have to worry about getting the vaccine, at least for immunity reasons. Now, for the crooked politician reasons, yeah, okay, there's still reasons to get it for the crooked politician reasons, which is, you know what I mean? Okay. So, but anyway, got me off on a tangent. My daughter worked in ICU on the COVID floor. She did not get COVID until she got the vaccine. Yes. Yes, that is what is happening. I see it. Ships. Last time I heard it was like 86 cruises. They only allowed vaccinated people on board, and the crews were 100% vaccinated, and yet they had COVID outbreaks. People fully jabbed that are sicker than me, and I'm high risk. Yeah, yeah. I am fortunate so far. As far as I know, I have not gotten it. Um, None of my family has, as far as we know. But you know what? I'm not worrying about getting tested. I'm not going to worry about it. Would appreciate prayers though. Oh yes, for sure, for sure. Pray that your health returns to you full. Um, but anyway, I was talking about what was new, New Year, and all this stuff, and oh, I'm starting to warm up here. I gotta check the wood stove. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this short because I do have to get hay in the goat barn, and I've got like 3 nets I have to fill. And I have to get that in before it gets dark and before feeding time. And we feed somewhere between 4 and 4:30 tonight because the temperature's going down. I also want to put some extra bedding in the goat barn, so to do. So I am going to cut this short so that I can go and take care of my goats. Is the bamboo evergreen? It's not evergreen. Um, it will, but it stays green longer. So the thing you got to watch out for is that the goats will eat the shoots that come up if they know they're there, if they figure out they're tasty, and then that'll wipe out your new growth. So it's especially the first 3 to 5 years, you got to really watch. So I would have to, if I was going to create a stand, I would have to somehow fence the goats out of it. Okay, so that they don't mess up their future intake. Well, anyways, I really do have to go. So I will talk to you later. Hopefully, y'all have good, happy New Year, and hopefully, 2022 is better than 2021 was. I have only one lung, but I will not get the jab. Yeah, you be careful. Make sure you take the vitamin C, vitamin D3, and there was another one. I just ordered it. If it comes this week, I'll show it next week. It's got a weird name to it, but it's all this is very, very beneficial. That new thing that I've just found out about and I ordered it, it has to do with zinc absorption. So, anyways, yes, we will stay warm. You all do too. So, I'll talk to you later. Bye, ladies.